All right, Deshaun Watson is a free man. The Houston Texans quarterback will not be facing any criminal charges due to the sexual misconduct and assault allegations. Huge news for the NFL quarterbacking world. We've had already a crazy offseason, and the next real question is, where is Deshaun Watson's new home going to be now that he will not be facing any criminal charges? I'm going to break down everything going on with the story, as well as give you my 2 cents on the whole situation. But if you could first, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get these daily update videos. Share this video with your friends. It really helps the channel out a lot. We are growing like crazy. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson had been facing 9 criminal charges stemming from sexual assault and misconduct allegations from 22 different women who also have civil lawsuits filed against the quarterback. He missed all of last season, choosing not to play for the Texans, and a grand jury in Houston decided not to file charges against him, resulting in those 9 cases. They said there was not enough evidence to press any charges, let alone find him guilty. So that is really good news for Deshaun Watson. He is built on cleaning his name now, he said. He is dedicated to this. He said his name is being dragged through the mud, and they said it was a money grab, obviously. Now, he still has 22 civil lawsuits he has to face, but this really helps his cause, saying there's nothing there. Now, I don't know all the details in it. It didn't sound good to begin with, but if there really wasn't any evidence there, now maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but you couldn't get him to even get a trial going. So that leads me to believe that there really wasn't much there. I don't imagine anything really coming from these civil lawsuits. And so now the quarterback will be traded in this offseason. He stated before these allegations came out that he wanted to be traded from Houston with their handling of DeAndre Hopkins, the GM position, the head coaching situation. He felt like he just couldn't trust ownership anymore, and he wanted to be moved on. So we've already had Aaron Rodgers commit to Green Bay, Russell Wilson heading to Denver, and Carson Wentz to the Commanders. Now where will Deshaun Watson go? Now he still has to be suspended by the NFL. He has not been suspended technically. He was held out due to his own accord and the Houston Texans accord. So the NFL is going to levy a suspension here. It's not a good look. The league tries to keep a clean, shiny, clean image, even though we know. So I'm expecting 4 games from this now. I had said 8, but now that the grand jury has decided not to indict him, I can't see more than 4 games, maybe 6, argue it down to 4. I'm expecting that. So he still has a ton of trade value. He's a top young quarterback. I am a little concerned. I'm a little bit cooler on Deshaun Watson than most other people. I mean, just look at his stats, though. He's the right age. Quarterback's only 26. He's going to turn 27 in September, so still super young. He is on an expensive contract. We'll get into that here in a second. But, the career record, 54-53. Now, you can say he played with the Texans. Yeah, but the Texans weren't bad. They won 4 division titles under Bill O'Brien, I believe, at least 4. And he had DeAndre Hopkins. Let's not forget Deshaun Watson did blow a 24-point lead in a playoff game in 1 quarter. Like, that's partially on him. I haven't always been sold on him. He's a great talent. He's amazing out there, but he just doesn't always win football games. 4,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions last year. Great year from a production standpoint. Now, Davis Mills won 4 games with the Texans this year. Now, you could say it was a hectic situation. There's a lot going on. So I'm fine. But he did miss an entire year. I don't love that in the prime of his career. But, some quarterbacks say, hey, you can just hop right back in the saddle. Shit, we saw Peyton Manning do it, and he was coming off a neck surgery. Deshaun Watson is completely healthy, has no injury concerns. I'm sure he's been working out this entire time. So I'm all for seeing what Watson can do. I think he's worth the trade bait here. His contract is a little expensive here, but you only need him for 2 years, and then you can choose to cut him for nothing at $5 million dead money after 2023. But $40 million this year, $42 million next year. That puts him towards the bottom tier. The problem is you just don't want him to be unhealthy if he has a monster season and demand a new contract, because the new deals are coming out. Quarterback contracts are getting absolutely insane out there. So you'd love to keep him at this number. Now, maybe in 2024, 37 and 32 are steals. So maybe you rework this a little bit. You get that back up to 42, 43 with the new TV deals. And hopefully by that point, you might have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Deshaun Watson. But let's talk destinations for this man. Now, people are saying the Seattle Seahawks. I don't buy that whatsoever. They just acquired all this draft capital to trade Russell Wilson. So you're going to get a little bit younger at the position, get a little cheaper, but your roster is ass. The Seahawks are bad. They really need to completely rebuild that roster. What does Deshaun Watson do for you when you have no offensive line? You got DK and Lockett. Your running game is mediocre, and your defense is bad. Like, that's not going to help Seattle. I think you keep those assets you just acquired to Seattle, start rebuilding that roster, and hopefully you find a quarterback in the draft. If not this year, next year. Just roll with Drew Lock, win 3 games in that division, draft one of those top quarterbacks, and we're good to go. Now, Pete is 70. He did just get a contract extension, but he's 70 years old, and you never know, but he's a young 70. Everyone knows Pete's a fiery young guy, so I just don't see Seattle doing that for Watson here. Could be wrong. Another team to look at, Carolina Panthers. Send Sam Darnold, and I'm thinking send a first-round pick, and they've been looking to flip Christian McCaffrey. Maybe you throw in McCaffrey. They seem to do fine with Mike Davis at not Mike Davis. They seem to do fine with Chuba Hubbard at running back in Carolina. Mike Davis was 2 years ago. Chuba Hubbard at running back in Carolina. So I think Watson would be a pretty decent fit there. Now, they have a little bit of receiver issues. Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel. It's just, I'm very lukewarm on the Carolina weapons. They don't really have a tight end. So besides CMC, which I would think you would need to trade to get Watson, you got some work there. Now, the defense is good. They're young. I don't love Matt Rule as a head coach, but maybe Matt Rule just needs his guy at quarterback. He hasn't really had a guy at quarterback in his 2 years in Carolina. So that's a very real possibility. Other people said the Steelers. I don't buy AFC teams, but the Steelers need a massive, massive upgrade at quarterback. Another team to keep your eye out for is the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, my Minnesota Vikings. They could send Kirk Cousins to Houston, and even if they didn't want to if Houston didn't want Kirk Cousins and they just want draft capital, Minnesota could send Kirk Cousins to the Steelers, get draft capital, because the Steelers would love to have Kirk Cousins. Or the Colts. The Colts don't necessarily have they don't have a first-round pick this year. They don't necessarily have the draft capital, but you could flip Cousins to get the capital to then pay an extra one. Year 1 this year, 12th pick in the draft, to then get Watson, which helps a lot of holes in Minnesota. I mean, he's about the same production as Cousins, but he's much more mobile and athletic, which is what Minnesota needs. They have a weak offensive line. That's the glaring issue with their team on offense. Obviously, great weapons, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen still leads the league in touchdowns over the past 2 seasons. So really, really, really interesting situation for Deshaun Watson. I'm excited to see where he goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where's this man going to land? He's obviously going to get traded. Also, big announcement. We will be doing a March Madness live stream all day Friday starting at 1 p.m. on this channel. Also over on Twitch, twitch.tv/afterthereview. So if you want to hang out, swing by. Might have a couple guests on. Going to be chilling, watching the games, talking to everybody out there, talking hoops, having a good time. So again, Friday at 1 p.m. Next Friday, the 18th at 1 p.m. I'll be streaming all day. So if you want to check that out, swing by for that. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where's Watson going to land? Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.